Hi everybody, today we're going to be talking about the accusative pronouns. If you haven't seen the German with Puppets video that goes with this, go ahead and click on that button up there. In the meantime, let's just go ahead and go through this list. First of all, you already know that the accusative case is used with direct objects and objects of accusative prepositions such as für, durch, ohne, gegen. But now we're going to be talking about them as pronouns. Basically, whenever you take a noun out of a sentence, you can replace it with a pronoun. That's why it's called a pronoun. And these things in German will change slightly, a little bit more than they will in English. So, if you are using ich in the accusative case, you have to use mich. Du becomes dich. Er becomes ihn. Sie doesn't change, it just stays sie. Es also doesn't change, es. Wir changes to uns, same as it does in English. We changes to us. Ihr changes to euch. Sie, meaning they, doesn't change, stays sie. And sie, for the formal version, also stays sie. So, in English we have I, me, you, he, him, she, her, it, we, us, you, they, them, and then you. Now, for those of you who are trying to figure out how to kind of keep all of this straight, I do have a little bit of a hint, and that is that the der words are very closely related to the er, sie, es form and the sie plural. So, for instance, in the nominative case, we have der, die, das, and die. So, if you say der Mann, you would replace it with er. If you say die Frau, you would replace it with sie. If you say das Mädchen, you would replace it with es, and if you use die Kinder, you would use sie for the plural form. Now, that's all well and good, but what does that have to do with this? Well, we have r at the end of the der word, r at the end of the pronoun, e at the end of the pronoun, e at the end of the der word, s, e. You'll notice that all of these end in R-E-S-E, same as we did for the der words. The same is true of the accusative case. Here we have den, die, das, die. Now we look at the last letter again, and we end up with N, E, S, E. Same endings as we had for the other ones, N-E-S-E. So now we have resa nessa, which is the thing that we use to remember the der words, and it uses the same thing for about half of the pronouns. The other ones you just kind of have to memorize. There's not really a good way to get around that. In section 2 here, we're supposed to replace the thing that's underlined with a pronoun. Should be relatively easy. Hast du meinen Bleistift? Do you have my pencil? My pencil is an accusative masculine object, and so we have to use a masculine accusative pronoun, hast du ihn? Do you have it? In English, we only have one it. In German, you have three. You have a masculine it, a feminine it, and a neuter it. So we have to have hast du ihn? Do you have it? The masculine form. In Nummer 2, we have two things underlined, das Kind and die Lehrerin. Das Kind hat die Lehrerin nicht gern. The child doesn't like the teacher. So we replace das Kind with a neuter noun. Look at the end of the der word, and we have an s there, which means we have to use es. And we look at the end of the der word for die Lehrerin, and we have an e, so we have to use a pronoun that also ends in an e. Es hat sie nicht gern. It does not like her. Die Katze beißt die Kinder. The cat bites the children. In this sentence, we have a feminine noun that ends with an e, as in die Katze, and so we have to use a feminine pronoun, sie. Die Kinder is the plural form, and so we have to use here the plural sie at the end of the sentence as well. So we have sie beißt sie. Now, if you don't know the context of the sentence, you probably wouldn't use two pronouns in a row like that, but you can get away with it in the German language. So if somebody says, what is the cat doing to the children over there? You'd be like, sie beißt sie. Nummer 4. Der Junge hat den Anzug an. The boy has the suit on. Der Junge has der in front of it, which means that we have to have an r at the end of our pronoun, er, and den Anzug has an n at the end of the der word, and so we have to have an n at the end of the pronoun as well. Er hat ihn an. He has it on. Nummer 5. Hast du das Hemd gern? Do you like the shirt? Das Hemd has das in front of it, which means we have to have an s at the end of the pronoun as well. Hast du es gern? Do you like it? In section 3, we have to translate all of these sentences, and if there's a noun in the parentheses, that means that we have to use that for the pronoun that precedes it. Basically, it's me differentiating for the different kinds of it. Nummer 1. Are you getting a shirt for your birthday? If you're getting something, it's receiving, and that is bekommen, to receive. So we need the verb bekommen at the beginning of it. It doesn't specify which you to use, so I'm just going to assume that it's the do form because I like to assume that. Also, the word for shirt in this sentence, I'm using the word ein Hemd, although there are a couple of other words. For your birthday would be zum Geburtstag. So the full sentence ends up being, bekommst du ein Hemd zum Geburtstag? Are you getting a shirt for your birthday? The only reason this one's on this video is because we have the do form here, and so I just wanted to remind you, do is actually a pronoun. Nummer 2. Do you need me? This one has two pronouns, you and me. I'm going to assume again that this is the do form, so we use the do form of the verb brauchen, which is brauchst. Me in this sentence is the accusative case, and so we have to use mich. Brauchst du mich? Do you need me? I like it, referring to the color. I have several options here. I could use gern haben, but I'm actually going to use mögen because I like mögen. So I'm going to say I like it, and we know that the color is die Farbe, which is a feminine noun, so we have to use the feminine it. Ich mag sie. Nummer 4. I need you. I is the subject, which means that we need the ich form here. Need is the same verb that we used in number 2, brauchen, so ich brauche. I'm going to assume that the you that they want here is the do form again, but since it's the direct object, or the accusative case, we have to use here dich. Ich brauche dich. I need you. You complete me. It, the blouse this time, is very beautiful. The blouse in German is die Bluse. Since that's the case, we have to use here a feminine pronoun, sie. Sie ist sehr schön. It is very beautiful. Nummer 6. Is he bringing him to the party? In this sentence, we have two masculine nouns. The first one is he, which is the nominative case in English. Him is the accusative case in English, although nobody really pays attention to it whenever they're learning English. Is he bringing? Bringing is the main verb here, so we have to use bringen, and then we have to conjugate that to the RCS form, so bringt er. And then we want to say him, which the German version is ihn, and then zur Party, to the party. Bringt er ihn zur Party? Is he bringing him to the party? I like him. Is he bringing him to the party? Because he seems like a fun guy. Nummer 7. They know you. You is this time actually identified as the plural informal, which means that we need here the ihr form. But since the you here is the direct object, that means we need euch. They is the sie form, and so we have to use sie kennen euch. They know you. They're acquainted with you. What do you think of it, the glove this time? We're going to use a form of finden according to the hint off to the side there. The phrase of what do you think of, or how do you find this thing, that would be wie findest du. Then we want to say the glove, and so we have to use here the masculine accusative because it would be der Handschuh, but the accusative form den Handschuh, and so when we replace it with a pronoun, we have to use here ihn. Wie findest du ihn? What do you think of it? That's all I've got for today. Thanks for watching. If you like this video, go ahead and give it a Daumen hoch. And if you want to see more of these videos, go ahead and click on some of those buttons up there. If you like me enough, you can go ahead and hit that subscribe button and you can see more of me all week long. Thanks for watching. Bye now.